Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach and welcome to my press conference. Forgive me guys if I'm a little cut up. Geelong's just really buggered things up in the last quarter. I've gone somewhat average in SuperCoach, so, it's a reasonably flat Sunday night for Shorty. But look, get around the Instagram page. We're up to 130 followers. Thanks if you've jumped on board. I've always got a few stories popping up over the weekend. I'll probably look to do a bit more as I get myself all adjusted to the Instagram world, bit of a post and things like that, so a bit of access to behind the scenes stuff. So I'm hoping that can be somewhat successful because it's something a little bit different and a little bit less serious than just, it's more of a personal thing, so hopefully people can get around it. So look, I was waiting until about 9 o'clock to see if the scores and whatnot would update and the rankings and everything like that, but they haven't yet, and I've got to be up at, 6:30. I'm on radio at 7, so feel free to tune in. I think it's 107.9 ABC local, so get around that if you want. But the moral of that is I need to get to bed, so I didn't want to be waiting around for too long because this one takes a little bit longer to upload as well. The Camtasia takes a bit longer to get things sorted. So look, that's pretty relevant. That was last week, but this week I think it was 2,216, I believe, so 219. So there you go. Look, Clayton obviously picked me there. This is the SuperCoach League, so just pick me there, and I'll go through my side. And without having the rankings as a judgment reference point sort of thing, it's tough for me to say, but I would imagine I would drop or potentially stagnate. I couldn't envision me going overly well this week. Just had a couple of poor scores, and look, I think there were some guys who really would have done well, and Martin hurt me as captain. So this is obviously in game order, and obviously it depends on what players we have similar and whatnot. Look, Cripps was okay. He was copping a fair bit of attention from Pendlebury, so struggled to get as many clearances as he normally would, but he kept battling away. Got frustrated a little bit, few free kicks against, but he was okay. Chad Wingard, okay, but on the radio they said he pulled up a little bit lame in just the last couple of minutes, so I'll be looking to see what happened there. I'm really tempted to trade him out, to be honest. I just don't think he's firing at the moment. He's just not going as well as I would have liked. So I'm really umming and ahhing. Pachaka was good, really pleased with him. 160, back to some of his best stuff. Would have loved to have the C on him as Clayton did. I think he VC'd him, so a lot of people would have done that. I didn't have the luxury of doing that because of my ruck situation. Didn't have anywhere else to loophole guys, so I had to pick someone from the Friday night. So it was Cripps. Heaney, good. Lloyd, not great, but not poor either. I'll be looking for a ton from him next week. And Dusty really hurt me. I mean, you can't really blame yourself or beat yourself up about that. I mean, you would have thought he would have a reasonable game. He's in amazing form, and he just had a below average game. I didn't see it, so I'm not sure what happened, what went wrong, but it's not a great captaincy score. You obviously want to get at least 120, but it's not the end of the world. And Bontempelli, a real interesting one. Obviously 116 looks good, but he played a lot forward, got kicked 3, but only 16 touches, and he's turned up the last 2 weeks, but I'm still a little bit worried. So I'm not sure. I mean, he'll go down in price, as will Wingard. So a couple of guys who are dropping. And look, I just don't like my midfielders and guys I want to be premium spending time up forward or that much time. He seemed to play, I heard him talking to Daisy Pearce after the match, he seemed to play more so predominant forward. I mean, I saw a bit of this game at work, so it's got me somewhat concerned. I mean, I couldn't see myself pulling the trigger on him because that'd be, that'd just be a bit silly. He's a premium, very good play. He scored 200s. Surely he won't be playing forward for the whole season. But, you just get concerned if the Dogs have a poor game and he gets cold up in the forward line. He just scores an 85 or something. I just don't like it. Sam Murray was really good. Really pleased with him. That'll be great for generating some cash. Steph Martin, unbelievable. I was watching Brodie Grundy Friday night and I was like, bloody hell. I've changed Grundy at the last minute in the pre-season. He's torn the hell out of this first few rounds. And Martin's coming off a 60. I'm thinking, if he doesn't fire up tomorrow, then gee whiz. But he delivered, which was great. Gorm was outstanding as well. Fritz, he probably looks to be like a 60 sort of guy. But I fielded him instead of Ryan. Proved to be the wrong choice. But, it's tough. I mean, I think Ryan's in some great form. Is he injured at the moment? Seemed to go off late. Hopefully not too bad. I must say I'm not fully caught up with that. Let's see if the old Google can tell us anything. But what else have we got here? Savage, really good. Really pleased with that. Obviously Salem tons up as soon as you trade him out. But you can't really beat yourself up about that either. I mean, Salem coming off 40 and a 50, you've got to trade him. If he comes out and scores 120, then that's unlucky. He scored 102, but, Savage, I think, is going to be a much better pick long term anyway. Laird, consistent as ever, really good. Kelly, 91, not his best game, but, not a poor score by any means. Finlayson, really good. So was Duday, really good to see. And it's great to see those guys doing well because it means you're going to get plenty of cash coming your way. Tim Kelly, I should say, was real good as well once we get to him, once this bloody thing decides to load. And Billings was really poor as well, really poor. The Saints are struggling, so I wouldn't be pulling the trigger on him, but he's going to cop a fair price drop over the next couple of weeks. What the hell is this thing doing? Any danger you are loading at any point in time? Anyway, that seems to have cooked itself, but there we go. Liam Ryan. 1 hour ago. What do we got here? We'll let that load and I'll continue on over here. So, yeah, as you can see, Smith was, again, good without being great. And there's Kelly and look, some average scores on the bench. Venables is struggling. Brayshaw's struggling. Barry's struggling. So a couple of those guys could be in the gun in terms of getting dropped as well, which would be concerning. That hurts. There's nothing worse than a guy getting dropped when they've only had 1 or 2 price rises because they don't really offer that much value in trading them out. But, they're also not going to make you any other coin. So it does leave you in an awkward position. So that's where that's at. And that's where that's at. Nowhere yet. Here we go. Heartbreak isn't great. But what do we got here? Who had carried off the field after kicking the goal. Ryan, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so it doesn't seem as if they know yet, but yeah, anyway, I'll probably read that one a little bit closer later, but it looks like they'll probably assess that. Didn't look great at the time, but hopefully he plays because he's in great form, scoring really well, about to make some serious coin, and if he's out, then that leaves us really awkward because, if it's a 3-weeker or a 4-weeker, then you keep him because he's a gold mine waiting to happen, but if it's long term, well, that would be absolute worst case scenario for him and us. It'd be brutal. But look, how am I feeling with my team? I'm fairly frustrated, to be fair. I mean, it's an okay team, but it's a tough gig. It's a strong competition. There's a lot of people out there with really good sides, and it's so competitive up the top. I don't have the rankings in front of me, as I said earlier, but I've got a few premiums who aren't quite firing, and that's a difficult thing with SuperCoach. To be right up there, you need to be going flawless. You need to be picking the right rookies to field. You can't afford to have a slip-up in terms of the actual premiums. So, you could argue Bonds had one slip-up. Wingard and Billings haven't been great like I had hoped. Who else? Kelly has been, okay without being, in terms of, say, Tom Mitchell, who's 20k more. There's a difference. So, Salem was a bust. Obviously, Lloyd is going okay without going great. So they're the things. There's a lot of guys in there who are going good but not great. I thought about Walters, opted not to. He's probably going better than a Smith or something like that. So they're the 50-50 calls that at the moment, if I'm trying to shoot par, I'm probably 2 over. I'm far from a birdie, but I'm not going poorly. But look, we'll just have to wait and see. In terms of trades at this early stage, I feel like I want to offload Wingard, but there isn't a plethora of options in the forward line that fill me with faith. So I'm not so sure. And look, I'm not sure whether Ryan's going to make me trade him out, depending what his injury concern is. And maybe there's a couple other things that pop up throughout the week. But that's where I'm at. In terms of falling premiums, there's a few on offer. Dangerfield will probably fall a little bit, you'd hope, particularly with just scoring 100 today. And you got Matt Crouch, you got Zach Merritt. Meningola's dropping. There's options. So, look, that's where I'm at. I hope you had a reasonable week. Let me know your score down in the comments. And as I say always, feel free to comment any questions, and I will look to get to those in the review or the Q&A, I should say, later in the week. So, yeah, by all means, get stuck into that. I'll probably leave it there, I think. As I said, get along to the Instagram page, give that a bit of a follow and things like that. That'd be great. But yeah, not a great day for Shorty, to be fair. You know, the cat's having a bit of a stinker. That hurts. And yeah, I don't feel like I went overly good in SuperCoach. So we'll see where I fall in the rankings. But anyway, all the best, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.